Right, so I'm up. I'm out of bed. Coffee here. Yep, I'm on my coffee now. Oh. Alright, so all the phantom runs and toots and beeps and whatever last night, even though I've done my usual and got out and checked every single one of them, down to the rod tips and blah de blah de blah as I do. So I'm a wee bit tired because, and I'm up late because of it. Because I was up a lot, and I mean a lot. So I'm gonna pull them all in, rest the swims, and breakfast and all the usual sort of stuff. But I'm thinking it's possibly crayfish. Right, so the fish what I had yesterday, it hit the middle line, it hit the left hand line. I'm feeding underneath the rods like blooming crazy. And I haven't so much pulled them out like that. They're all right where they are. They've not done anything. Just had to tighten up the clutch a little bit, just not the clutch like it was having like a bit of a run, but it won't. So it's not moved them off the spots. But the left hand rod hasn't gone whatsoever, which has shocked me because that's on the nuts. And yeah, shocked to that. Unless the bait's been pulled off, but nah, can't see that happening. Oh, there we are. Look, it does that all the time. That's what it's been doing. That's 14 centimeters. So that has got to be a fish. It can't be a crayfish. Right, let me go down and check it. Right, so I've checked it and I've actually wound it in. Yeah, it's gone back out. But I checked it just in case it was like a little bream or something on there and it just can't move the lead. And it's been like that all night. That's what it's been doing all night, and you can understand why it wakes you up. Because that's what it's been doing over and over again, roughly every 40 minutes sort of thing. You literally just go fast asleep and then did. Like, let's get up again. Anyway, note on it, check the bait and all that lot, and there was no claw marks, so it's not crayfish. Yeah, so what I'm going to be doing now is upping the hook size, not lowering them, because that is on a 7, that one. That's the one what had the fish. But I'm going to be upping the hook size, because I think they're just picking up the bait. Now, in here I've had the underwater camera from the previous videos, and using them with like pop-ups and stuff like that, they are very finicky, and I mean very, very finicky. So they'll literally just pick the bait up by the very edge. They'll not so much blow it all in, it's just like gently on the, like a pike does, sort of thing. It's weird. Yeah, I've never seen carp do this before, but in here for some reason they do. A lot of water disturbance going off, and down here somewhere I did hear a lot of plop 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 plop, and yeah, and as cars keep driving down, vans keep driving down, vans keep turning around and going back as well because of hopefully the flooded. But I can smell one, so it's probably off the other lake, unless that's what the water disturbance is. Someone right down there. I can definitely smell a carp. Right, so there's a duck out there. I know it's a bit blurry, but you're on full zoom and I can't get you any closer than that, and I got rid of the 4K camera, so I can't really show you. Anyway, I'm going to call that duck Hellboy. Why am I calling it Hellboy? Because it's got a big red head and it's got a massive red beak. Like I say, that is the closest I can get you, and if I zoom you back, well, you can't see out, can you? Where's it gone now? Oh, it's swum past on it. Unless it dived down. I think it's swum by. Oh, I know what that duck is, but like I say, I'm going to call it Hellboy. And I've got a steamer and whatnot. I've done the shrink tube already, and I bought a load of the kickers and all the liner things, and I've just noticed that they're just too flexible, so I don't like them. Yeah, so I've gone back to the proper way, which is shrink tube. Now, shrink tube itself is more stiff, as you can tell with that. I'm pulling that, and that is stiff. Where the liners have put hardly anything on it, and it's just straightening up, and I don't like it. So I'm going to be going onto the single boilie approach, because the only rod what's actually caught is the one that's got a single boilie on it, single bottom bait. Yeah, the one with a tipper, it's had a couple of beeps on it, but nothing. So it's got to go to obviously what's obviously landed a fish, isn't it? So this is what I'm going to be going on. I could keep the heli on, but now I'm going to change it, because it's been beeping all night and all that lot. Apparently a few other people have been having the same thing, just a load of like phantom runs, but nothing from it. So it's not just me, so it's happening to nearly everybody. So here's my rig. Like I say, it's quite long. That's going to be going on to the Nasher lead clip, the weed ones, and then with them they drop the lead so easy. So I'm still using it. It's like a drop off lead anyway, no problem. I've got a tungsten shot on there, but I may even tungsten sink, I should say. I might even just put a little bit of putty around it as well, just to give it a little bit more weight around this area, sort of thing. It is actually a tungsten loaded hook link. It's actually the ESP tungsten, and what I like about it, it's nice, as you can tell, with having it stripped back, just that little bit where the sinker is, it's nice and supple. Yeah, so it has got the flexibility there, but everything else is still quite stiff. All this is the tongue. It don't need it because obviously it's going to a lead clip anyway, but that's just a tungsten sleeve. I'm going on to the long shanks now. So same as how I set the nut ones up, but I've just gone for a short bait screw instead of a long one. So just the traditional like 10mm one, where those ones are like nearly 30mm. Hence why they got so many nuts on them. But the nut one's not done anything. So it's like, well, what's the point of putting those out if the other one's not done anything? So I'm going to go to the boiler. Alright, it's breakfast time. Instead of using your knife all the time, go and get some tongs. Yeah, some little mini tongs. Like here, but you can get them all over the place. So instead of stabbing your sausages and trying to turn all your bacon and all that lot with your knife and just getting it all over the place, well, you can grab them and you can turn them. Oh, it's too dangerous, that. Got my handle. Yes. That's all you need, isn't it? And if you want to hold it a bit more, got a black bullet. Yeah, that's going in shortly as well. It's starting to thaw out a little bit, so you do need a knife, obviously, for that. I'll show you pushing it down my face in a minute. We've got streaky bacon, so it's like being a yank. I've got my 3 a day here. Fat, fat, and even more fat. There's more and more people, yeah, mainly I'd say for the day fishing, and obviously there's line pressure now. Now to be fair, it has gone quiet. Yeah, it's been quiet for quite a while. I've just had a little nudge on the middle rod, been down, checked it, seen the line moving a touch. It's like, right, they're over the area still. But what I've done, I've taken the back leads off, and I've took the back leads off for a reason. I'm putting barriers in, yeah, because I know that the fish have been all in front of me. I still believe they're there, but I believe because obviously the cold wind has kicked in, hence the jacket, that they've just gone down a little bit. So what I've done, I've gone bowstring tight line to my flying back lead, so that's generating the barrier. So all going well, if my plan works, because all three rods are on pretty much the same area now. There's only like probably 8 foot apart from them, so there's not a great deal. But the fish what are in the middle of that proximity, I'm hoping it keeps them there. So if they try going out, they're going to feel the line. It's like, ooh, and then come back, sort of thing. There is a little bit of bait in there as well. When I say a little bit, I'm talking 5 handfuls. Yeah, 5 handfuls of boilers. That is it. Just throw a 6 over there or across the whole entire reed line. That's all I've done. Yeah, that's more than enough, and I'm going to sit on that. They're all on single boilers now. They've all been changed over. So the rig what I was showing you a moment ago, that's gone on. The right on rod what has caught the fish, that has stayed. The ad's that same. The one what's on the leg clip has stayed. The ad's that same because that's on a size 6, so that's perfectly fine. On a curved shank hook. The other ones are on the, as I was showing you, on the Nash flanks. One is a size 7, one is a size 5. So I've got 3 different hook sizes out there, all micros. Right, so the reed's straight across from me where I've got all 3 rods. I reckon I pushed them in there a little bit. So I put a couple more boilers in, but I put them in shorter, so hopefully it's going to bring them out. Now, when I've been throwing over there, I've been putting them in the reeds, and I've also been putting them obviously right on the line as well as towards me a little bit anyway. Because it gives them a little, I find it gives them a bit more confidence. Now what I'm looking at, the lake's gone flat calm. There is a bit of a breeze, but when you're looking at those reeds across, there is just the odd one doing all this. I've scoped it all out. It's not a duck or anything like that, and it's definitely not wind, so they're in them reeds straight across, definitely. It's like a cheeky little fart out. I've got a little story for you regarding the peg what I'm on. Right, it's called titty peg for a reason, and that's because it's generally a man and a woman what comes and fishes on this one through the summer months. And well, the dear, she goes topless. Doesn't matter who's across from and whatever, she goes topless, and apparently they're like down here sort of thing. Yeah, no shape to them, just droop. Yeah, so you can imagine what it's like when she leans over or bends over or something and just goes swing like God knows what. Anyway, there were people moaning about it on the other side and stuff like that. Kids on the other side, she still does it and blah 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 and all this sort of stuff. And but that's one of the stories. So what they did, the only fish this peg, they won't go anywhere else on the 2 legs. It would go this peg. Don't know why, so that's why it's called titty peg. So all the slabs and all this lot, they actually put them in themselves. So the actual anglers, the oh dear and the old man. So I don't know what the actual age limit is, so I'm guessing over 50. And yeah, they did all this lot. So they put the fence up, they put all the slabs and stuff down, and just made it as it is. So it's called titty peg. Anyway, sometime during summer, obviously when the lockdowns was eased, someone was actually fishing on this one. I got told this yesterday. someone was actually fishing it during summer, and they come down to fish it, and because someone was on it, they started having a huff and a puff. Ended up throwing the guy's chair and all sorts. So the actual angler what was on basically pulled out a spade, threatening him with a spade to get off and all this lot. So the bailiffs come down and turn around and says, "You're off. Yeah, you've gone past your limit now. That's it. You're banned." Why? It's a peg. Yeah, there's nothing any different to the peg next door or the peg across from it or the peg there. A peg is a peg. Yeah, if the fish are there, the fish are there, fair enough, but you can't be wanting to fish the same peg over and over and over again. Yeah, why have I come on here? Because I knew that I wanted to be more down that side, but it's flooded, so that's the reason why I didn't go there. So this is the nearest peg to the actual flooded ones. But I did want to go right down in the far corner. And there is another one, but it's round the other side. You can't get the car behind it, and if I had the barrow, then yeah, I would have just used the barrow and leave the car down in the car park instead of having the car right behind. But this time of year you can't put the car around it. But if I knew that, I would have gone down there, and it's like a double swim. I would have fished the actual bit of water what I wanted to actually be on. Right, here we go guys, I'm going to try and show you a little video here. So use the bait needle. As you can see from my rod tip, you can see my line entering the water just there. Right, so it's more for the obviously the like newcomer angler sort of thing. So this is what I mean by using your rod tip. So with your rod tip on this one, you'd see it obviously going towards that. Yeah, so it'll do that sort of thing. The other thing you can look for is that line. So if the line actually like tightens up, so it actually goes out, that's another thing to look for, and you'll get all those indications before your alarms will even toot. They're the main things you need to look for. So this is what I like to be watching them, and I can just see my other line entering the water just above that rod eye as well. Can't see that one because obviously the way the light is. No, but look out for those little things, and it doesn't matter if you tight line or slack line, you'll always get those indications. If you slack line, you'll get your line go first before your rod tip. Right, what have I been cooking on? Right, a normal gas stove, but because I had a frying pan earlier, didn't I? And you're probably interested in obviously why I had it on. Well, here it is. It all folds up and that, so it's nice and compact. It's stainless steel, so it's all solid. Okay, and that is literally all it is. It's a stand. Yeah. Now you can get them off eBay. They're roughly 9-10 quid. You might even be able to get them a bit cheaper now. And there's two versions. Yeah, you got the standard version and you got the long version. Now if you go for the long version, your stove will sit underneath it. If you go for the short version, then it's gonna wobble all over the place. Right, it's definitely got to be a trailer in there because one of the guys on the left, I've just heard his alarm go, and his mate was on the other side. Right, Ian, as he's lifted in, nothing. So it's got to be a trailer. I've got another great tip for you. Yeah, and I do use it. Right, you want to put bait in, but you don't want to put bait in. How do you manage to do it? Right. So why do you want to put bait in, but you don't want to put bait in? You want to put bait in because you want the sound to go into the water to try to get the fish to home in on it. Right. As soon as you get your stick out or whatever, you throw it in, it sinks down to the bottom. But how do you do that without putting the bait in? Right, what you do, you wait till your ducks or whatever it is to get over you. Not seagulls, yeah, not them, not the flying rats. Make sure it's ducks, and it's a better one for you, ducks. So as they're close by, get your stick out, handful of bait, 2 handfuls of bait, whatever, and put it out and let them feed on it. Now when they start feeding it, obviously the beaks in the water go all that sort of thing. They've took the bait and they're also putting that sound in, so it's a feeding trigger for the carp. There you go, major edge. You don't need a lot. Make sure you just literally time it right so the ducks are over the spot, and then you literally a little bit in, wait until they've obviously had them bits, and then obviously put a little bit more in. You get obviously those sounds, those trigger sounds. they will bring the fish in, guys. That little tip, what I told you, with the ducks and the bait, has worked. It's all up here, guys. It's all up here. Middle rod, over where I put the little bit of bait where the ducks were. Like I say, I wanted it in, but I didn't want it in, I wanted the sound. That's what I was using. And we've just brought in a lovely, like a chestnutty sort of common. Well nailed. I'm just in the process of hopefully getting the net out of her. Come on, there you go. I got wet then. And then not to rest again. Getting a bath with this one. Right. Bit bigger than the last one. Come on. I want you over this way. Go over there. Right. Didn't want unhooking in the net, but I got her down there anyway. Epic battle. And an epic battle in here as well. Come on, stop messing. Be good. Alright, you're coming up. No, you're not. Might have to edit a bit out. Yeah? No? Right, I might have it. There we are. Got it. There we are. Oh. Now it's behaving. Definitely bigger than the other one. I'm not going to bother weighing it again though, because it's not my PB. Epic fight. Big bobbly eyes on this one. Proper poking out the eyes. I'll try and show you the other side. Yeah. Look at that. Lovely dark colour common. Say hello. Right. Get it back. Oh, hang on. Can't go untreated. That's gonna sting, mate. Really. Right. Boosh. And I nearly forgot to say, but I'll say it now while I remember. Right, so the middle rod was on the pink flat pair for the visual, because the water's murky. The others are on the my natural colour. This is the colour what I find pretty much every lake what I've been on. This is what I've seen it to be. Yeah, so the leads are camouflage, but like I say, that was a pink one, so that went for the visuals there. That's what was going on.